Hello and welcome to the monthly Marquee. I'm your host, Bart Lovins, director of the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center, and I'm really excited to introduce our first guests. They're also our PAC Spotlight. Please welcome Mariah Creason-Lewis and Bethany Jocking. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for putting up with me and riding around the limousine for the media circus. We also want to thank Skaggs Limousine for sponsoring our PAC Spotlight as always. And just thank you so much. Now, you are both here representing the cast of our first musical in 2 years, Disney's Beauty and the Beast, our first Pro-Am musical in 2 years, and we're really excited, but you haven't had a rehearsal or anything yet. So what kind of expectations do you have? And answer as though I've not asked this question twice already.
Expectations. I feel like I'm going to be very busy. All of my free time is now Belle. A lot of memorizing lines and making my husband read lines with me.
That's right, you're playing Belle in the production.
Yes, I'm very excited. I'm ready to be busy again, though. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
And Bethany?
I'm ready to be busy too. I haven't done much dance or performing like in a while, so
I think a lot of people are in that boat too. Yeah, I noticed at auditions as well. People were a little bit more nervous than normal.
Yes.
I think a combination of not having done a whole lot, and I think it was really important to people. People are ready to do things. They really, really want to get involved. And
Absolutely.
We had 105 people audition, and between we cast 33 people in this show and 15 people in our January show. That's always the hard part about auditions is we just can't use everybody. Just so many talented people that I'm hoping will audition for things at the Playhouse and at their schools and stuff and get involved in other things. Speaking of which, that's actually the last time you were on our stages when you were in school.
Yeah, when I was in high school. The last thing I did was Legally Blonde with Central Hardin High School, and then the last PAC Pro-Am I was a part of was Annie Get Your Gun, which was almost like 10 years ago.
I know, that's really crazy. And Bethany, what was the last thing people may have seen you on the PAC stage doing?
I was in the previous recital with the Dance Center and the Nutcracker.
And what did you do in Nutcracker this last time?
I was Arabian, Snowflake, and Waltz of the Flowers.
Oh, wow.
And we talked earlier, you've also gotten to play Clara in the show. Now, how long ago was that?
Oh, like 6 years ago. It was 2017, and it was the 50th anniversary, which is really special.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, it was really cool. I remember that. And we were talking earlier today, Clara's like one of those dream roles. So after you've done Clara, what's the next big thing?
I would say Snow Queen, Party Parent, all those.
I think Arabian is one of those that people really want to be part of too. Yeah. And you mentioned something on one of the other interviews that I wanted to follow up with that I think is really, really interesting. Is you mentioned the moment when it clicked for you that dancing is more than movement, that there's a acting part of that.
Especially,
when did that happen to you?
Because
that's a big light bulb.
Yeah, I would say when I was Clara, I realized you have to act with it. You can't just dance and have a blank face. Because you're telling a story to all these people and you can't talk at all.
You're so right, and I think a lot of our dancers have that exact same experience because Clara is the conduit for the audience. They see all of this through Clara's eyes, and if it's blank and vague, they don't get involved. So it really is, that's a tough role to play, and it's a real big stepping stone for a lot of our dancers. Mariah, did you have a wake-up moment when you were at the PAC that you went, oh, this is what this is?
Absolutely. So 6th through 8th grade, I did speech and debate. And then when I got into high school, Sarah Dakin was having auditions for Little Women. And I was like, well, this seems kind of different. There's a costume. Cool. And so I auditioned and was cast as Jo, which was huge for me at the time. And it was such a light bulb moment for me because once we started doing tech rehearsals at the PAC, I was like, oh my gosh, the whole world has just opened up. There's ropes and there's a pit that I could fall into. There's all this extra stuff involved, but it was it was so fun, and it gave such a professional edge, I think, to it that I hadn't experienced in the past. And that was really my moment to be like, oh, this is like real, and there's like a real audience, and there's so much more to bring to the table when that's there.
Well, speaking of bringing things to the table, you both bring a lot of talents to the stage, and I'm excited to work with you. But you also come at this from very different angles, as an adult teacher, as a student. Mariah, how did the PAC help you in the career that you chose?
Well, I had no idea I was going to be a teacher. I still went into an arts kind of path when I started college. I have an arts administration degree. And then I traveled around for a little bit, lived in Germany for a couple years. But when I came back, I was offered a teaching position, and I think it's probably because I'm so lively as a person already, but I gained a lot of that from the PAC. When I started performing at the PAC and I was around all these amazing teachers, really, I mean, the people that work at the PAC are teachers. They're teaching you professionalism, they're teaching you confidence, they're teaching you how to project and communicate with people in a way that you don't get in a classroom all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I was excited to kind of bring that into my profession. I teach English to freshmen and sophomore students. And it's so much more now than just your grammar mechanics and 3.5 essays.
In the world we live in today.
Yes, it's so much more of a communications class. And so I try to pull that out of my students too. How do I pull that confidence out of them? How do I give that to them in a way that's interesting and engaging and they can take with them later on like I got?
And Bethany, I know you're planning to go into nursing. Mm-hmm. How has the PAC helped you in what your career chose? Yeah, let me try that again. How do you think the PAC has helped you in your career choice?
Well, it's helped me come out of my shell more. I feel like with nursing, I'll be able to talk to people and help them and all that.
Communication as a nurse, my mom was a nurse. I didn't share that earlier today. And she's a great communicator as well. And I think as a nurse, you have to have a great deal of empathy. And I think that's something that we gain from being a performer and wearing other people's shoes and trying to be other characters. You learn to feel what other people feel. And I think that's a big part of nursing too. What area of nursing are you interested in? Because that's a big field now.
I'm not sure yet. I'll figure it out.
And you've got time to figure it out. That's what's wonderful.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much. I'm very excited to get started on this project and see how it helps you from here forward.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next guests are Kristen Henriksen and Michelle Blair, representing Hardin County Playhouse. Ladies, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate your time.
Oh, we're glad to be here.
You both are co-directing HCP's production of Tom Sawyer. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And tell us, Michelle, what is the show about for you when you think of Tom Sawyer? Why did you want to be part of this production?
Well, doing Sisters Grimm with her, that was the whole putting a story together and bring it to life. And I think it's this time too. It's just, bringing Tom Sawyer to the stage.
Because people are so familiar with reading it.
Yeah, and then it's a musical, so then you got all the songs and stuff that goes into it, and
it's now when you did Sisters Grimm, did they have music in that?
No.
So this is a whole nother layer on top of that. And you guys co-directed Sisters Grimm as well.
Yes.
Yes.
And so what did you learn from the first time co-directing that you're doing this time?
Well, it's kind of interesting because when we started Sisters Grimm, it was kind of last minute, and Katie Van Zyl was writing it, and she was giving us things as we were. Yes. So we didn't really have a lot of time to stop and think and plan. It just was, it kind of happened.
Divide and conquer.
Yes. Yes. And when we said, I think Claire, the president of HCP, was like, I think we should do a children's show because I've been trying to get them to do it for many years. And she's like, let's do it this summer. And I was like, okay. And this was May.
Oh my gosh.
And we had auditions in June. So, and then we had to get something together. So we didn't really have a lot of time to stop and prepare, but this time we did. We had a little bit more time to stop and prepare, and we were asked to do a musical because everybody likes to hear children sing. So we were like, okay, we can do a musical, and I had actually already done this before when I was at...
That helps. Oh my
Yes.
God, that helps, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had done this Tom Sawyer musical when I was at Parkway Elementary, which is now North Park. And so it it's very nice to get to do it again and see how I did it a lot differently, because I was very green at the time when I did it the first time.
I don't like to repeat myself, but there's a certain amount of confidence you have directing a show that you've directed before. That you go, okay, I know where I messed up the last time. I can fix it this time, and
Yes.
so I know exactly what you mean. Michelle, how many cast members are in the show,
We have 18.
and are they all children?
Yes. Well, I mean, that's 6 to 14.
6 to 14. And then I know I have a member of my cast who's playing Aunt Polly, I think. Is that
Gwen
right?
Yates.
Gwen Yates, yes. And so have you worked with this many children before in anything?
Not during a play, but I mean, I did a lot of daycare, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's perfect. That is
Yeah.
on-the-job training for sure.
That is.
Oh, yes.
And I always say when you have a show with a lot of kids, it's as much corralling the kids as it is placating the parents, because they're part of the show as well. When you cast the child, you cast the family. And it's a lot to deal with sometimes.
Well, we're lucky because most of our parents, they like to help out. So we've got, the parents in the lobby making sure the kids come on stage. We've got the parent in the classroom making sure they're sitting there being good.
And it's, those are the kind of things when you're doing a show that I think are lost on a lot of the audience. So it's really great when you have the family involved like that. It gives them a greater appreciation. We do Missoula Children's Theater, and these children learn monologues and songs in 1 week that I, as an adult, would be terrified to try to learn. So it's great to see, as a parent, how students can pick up things so quickly. What's the aspect of the show you're most interested in seeing how the audience reacts?
I think they're going to really enjoy how we have incorporated some movement and dance and the singing. I really think that they're going to enjoy, because it's very funny, but also there's some very touching, very cute parts that I think will melt some hearts. And so I'm kind of excited for that. My Tom and Becky are very, very cute. So I think the audience are really going to like them.
And when is the show?
It is August 5th through 7th.
Coming up very quick.
Very quickly, and then 11th through 14th. Thursdays through Saturday performances are at 7 p.m. and Sunday performances are at 3 p.m.
And how can people get tickets?
By going to www.hardincountyplayhouse.com, or you can call 270-351-0577 and leave a message, and I will call you back.
Wonderful. And did you happen to know what's next up for Hardin County Playhouse? What's the next thing on the docket?
Oh, actually, in October, they're getting ready to do The Haunting of Hill House.
Right. And Aaron Taylor, our technical director, is directing that.
Yes.
And they've already cast that, and I know they're already busy at work on it, too.
Yes.
And are you guys doing the Ghost Walk again this year?
We will be doing the Ghost Walk. I'm not exactly sure of the dates yet.
Sure,
'cause we
that's a
still
little
have-
down the road, yeah.
We have to get them okayed with the city.
Of
but-
course, of course. But lots of things to look forward to.
Yes.
And what's that website again for people to get informed?
Sure, it's www.hardincountyplayhouse.com.
And I know you also share a lot on Facebook. What's your handle there?
It's the Hardin County Playhouse.
Wonderful. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up on the Monthly Marquee, please join me in welcoming Sarah Vaughn with the Historic State Theater. Sarah, it's summer.
I know, right?
Nothing happening. You guys are closed for the summer.
Super bored.
That's what I always get. You guys shut down
Get
for the summer.
pedicures, right? Yeah, we do. We do nothing.
So by the time this airs, you will have already done cruising.
Yes.
And I know it's going to be fantastic, because it always is, and the weather will be gorgeous, and
course it will.
you will break attendance records.
Always.
So what's next after cruising?
So we have several things happening with the theater, with the events program, festivals, all that good stuff. But in August, we have 2 Elvises coming in the building the same day.
Two Elvises for the price of one?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. So we have the young Elvis. Sean Klush will be performing as the young Elvis, and Cody Ray Slaughter will be performing as the older.
Mature.
The more mature, more
Yes,
advanced. Yes, Elvis. So it is absolutely a fantastic show. These two gentlemen have won national awards and Vegas, I mean, just everywhere, have been named the Elvis, because, you know, there are a few out there.
Just a few.
just a few. So they're going to be in. We are close to sellout right now. Well, we don't say sellout.
No, we don't either.
No, but I always tell people there's typically always tickets. So give us a call the week of, the day of. Things always happen.
There's always cancellations.
There's always cancellations. There's usually always a seat open. Yeah. So give us a call that week. But it's going to be a fantastic show, and we're super excited for that. Right after that will be our Heartland Homecoming Parade. This year's theme you'll love is Dance to the Music. So I've had a lot of people interpret that in their own way. Oh, does that mean 80s? Sure.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Right.
Sure. So you name it, you're going to see it at the Heartland Homecoming Parade, which is even better. I can make jokes because I work for city government, but you know, we're going to have it's election year, obviously, and so we're going to have a lot of politicians out there. So it's going to be quite entertaining because they have to adhere to the theme in order to be accepted in, and they want to campaign. So what do? You dress up and you. So
I can hardly wait.
Not that you won't have your phone on you, but have that camera available because there's going to be some surprises. I've heard Josh Lindblom will be dressing as Elvis.
I was going to say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, and I love me some Josh, but I can't see him as Elvis. So I am ready to take some photos that day. But it's going to be a great day. It is our homecoming.
You should do like a dance-off.
We should.
All of the politicians have to do a dance-off.
To be in it.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. There's some that would do it. There are some that would do it. I know. We try to get creative. You know, just don't ride in the back of a car and wave. You know, kids don't care about that unless you have full-size candy bars to hand out. You know, and so we want to make it entertaining and family-friendly and all of those things. And we want to see our politicians and we want to see the people that represent our community. Mm-hmm. We want to see that, and so. That's the great thing about the theme is it gives them an opportunity to really showcase their talents, you know, and get to know the real them. So mark it down, August 27th, 10 a.m. It'll step off downtown, and it will go north on Dixie Highway, and it'll end right around Southeast Christian area, St. John Road right there, as it always has for many, many years. So make sure you guys attend that. And we're still taking applications for that as well. So if your group or your organization wants to be in and you want to dance to the music for the morning, we give away awards. There's some bragging rights available as well. So you might get a chance to win an opportunity at walking downtown with a plaque, so or banner really. And then right after that, we are going into still into festival season. We have E-Town Wine Fest is happening. I think this is our 6th year, which is crazy.
Really? Oh my
yes,
gosh.
Crazy town. Last 2 years we've sold out of tickets, and so. You definitely want to get your tickets early. They are for sale right now at etownevents.com, but you get an opportunity to taste wines from all over the state of Kentucky. And then we also have other types of brands. There's brands from Italy, there's brands from you name it. So, and then we have bourbon, because you can't have wine without your bourbon. And then we have live music. We have food vendors. It's just a great day at the lake. And we're going to be showcasing the new bandstand.
Oh, great.
That is finally officially done. Don't go out there right now because it doesn't look done, but it is done. By then, maybe we'll have some sod somewhere. I don't know. But yes, so we have the new bandstand. That construction, of course, in the middle of COVID was just crazy. And so it's finally ready to be out there, and we want folks to see. And so the first time we're able to showcase that is at E-Town Wine Fest. So we're going to have a couple of musical acts up there. The event starts at 5 o'clock. You do not have to be 21 to go. Obviously, you do to drink. But if you want to bring your DD with you, it's only $10 to get in. And it's just a great night. It really, really is. So kids can come. Kids are free, 10 and under, to get in. It is very family friendly, but definitely the focus is on wine and wine tastings, and it's just a great night.
When you mentioned something else before we started recording, Inside the Barrel?
Yes, so right after that is Inside the Barrel, which will be happening at the State Theater. Last year we had this event. It was one of the good things born out of COVID, as we've talked about before. You know, COVID did bring on some great things. And so we had to look at being able to have an event, because we were really bored sitting around during event season, you know, with no events. And so we created this event called Inside the Barrel as a bourbon tasting event, because we were able to have it control the crowd, ticketing, things like that, that was all COVID friendly, especially at the time. And so it went so well that we're going to do it again. This year we're excited. We've got Jim Beam on board, and Fred No will be there. He will be highlighting 4 different bourbons that are obviously Beam brand. And we're still in the early planning stages, honestly, but it's going to be a great night. We'll have dinner. Fred's going to be there. He'll sign your bottles, all that good stuff. So,
how can people learn more about everything?
well, we're going to have the tickets for sale of that. Everything will be at etownevents.com. If the event is specifically at the State Theater, go to thestate270.org.
Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, folks, that wraps another edition of the Monthly Marquee. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next month.
Contacts? The only famous guy we know is that weatherman from Channel 2 who made a pass at you at Arby's.
I am not calling him. Not again. Listen, we'll figure something out.